You could train your memory. It's like a muscle, but it's use it or lose it. And when's the last time we really exercised this muscle? So one of the ways we could do it is to just exercise, and we'll practice memorizing the 10 things that we just talked about, the 10 brain foods.
Okay.
This technique is called the memory palace, where we take a place we're very familiar with, and we store the information we want to remember. Let's say it's a speech, or in this case, brain foods, in that familiar place. And when you need to recall it, you go in your mind's eye and you imagine that place, and you walk around and you see those things in that place, and they serve as a trigger to remind you what you want to remember. And so,
wow.
Yeah, so this is it takes more time to explain it, as I just did, than actually.
Right.
So let's do this. All right. So I believe learning is not a spectator sport. We don't learn things passively. We want to be more active. So I encourage everyone to do this, because hearing something on a show is probably not going to change your life as much as doing that thing will be.
That's right.
So it's based on a place that you're familiar with. It could be your home, your office, your school. In this case, I'm going to take your body, right? And we're going to take 10 places on our body, and we're going to do this together. You want to see it, you want to feel it, you want to hear it. So everyone take your hand and just touch the top of your head and say the word top.
Top.
All right, top. And we're going to go right down our body. 2 is nose. So what's 2? Say it out loud.
Nose.
Nose. 3 is mouth.
Mouth.
Mouth. Good. 4, you're going to go to the side. Ears.
Ears.
Everyone do this. Even
Everybody. 4 is ears. All right.
5 is going to be your throat.
Okay. 5 is throat.
All right. So we're halfway there, and we're training our memory. And most people still remember it. It goes from top to throat. Top, nose, mouth, ears, throat. Number 6 are your shoulders. Everyone touch your shoulders and say 6, because
6.
Yeah, which is your shoulders.
Okay.
That's your verbal memory. 7 is your collar. What's number 7? Everyone touch your
collar.
Collar. Good. 8, just wiggle your fingers. 8 fingers.
8.
Your fingers. 9 is your belly. So what's belly? Number 9, everyone? And 10 is your bottom. Your rear end, touch your bottom.
It's very fun to say belly and bottom on a professional podcast. I feel like we are back in kindergarten. This is very exciting.
I promise you, yeah. And think about the fastest learners, children.
That's great.
How fast they can learn a musical instrument or another language. And so now we have 10 places in our body. And this becomes a filing system for what you remember. I had the opportunity to train a lot of TED speakers to memorize their TED Talks, and how they would do it, the same as this Greek orator. Take places that you're familiar with, maybe it's your kitchen or your living room, walk around and put your key ideas and points around, maybe clockwise. And again, you'll never lose your place. So here we go. We have 10 places in our body, and I mentioned there are 10 foods. And what we're going to do is you're going to imagine it in that place, and use a little bit of humor, because we tend to remember things that touch us emotionally, right?
Okay.
Information by itself is very forgettable, but the key to long-term memory is information combined with emotion becomes unforgettable. All right, because this is how your brain kind of works. If you make a fist, so everyone make a fist, and that your wrist is your reptilian brain, right? That takes care of your survival, makes your heart beat 100,000 times a day. You're breathing, regulate your body temperature. Your fist is your middle brain. And 2 parts I want to highlight is your middle brain. You have like a seahorse looking part of your brain, and that's your hippocampus, which controls memory. Attach that seahorse as a part of your brain that looks like an almond, and that is your amygdala. A lot of your audience might know that your amygdala is like a switching station for your emotions. But isn't it interesting that seahorse and almond, the memory and the emotions are tied? Most people, there's probably a song you could hear, it could take you back to when you're a teenager, because that's the emotion, right? Or food or fragrance could take you back to when you're a child. And then if you put your hand on top of your fist, so your other hand on top of that fist, that's your neocortex. The neocortex is when you say you have, this is your new brain. Right, your third brain. This is where when they say you have your left and right hemisphere, that's your neocortex.
Okay.
And if you split it down in the middle, you have something called the corpus callosum, which is a bridging station between the two, which we could talk about why that's important a little bit later in terms of making decisions. But just emotion. So what we're going to do is you're going to say it and feel it and do it. All right. So the first place is your top, and the first brain food were avocados. So we're going to do this rapid fire. Now, when everyone imagine making guacamole as a scalp conditioner.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And don't just hear us say it. You got to do it. You got to see it. You got to feel it. Feel it, smell it, maybe taste it. Second place on your body after the top was what? It was your
nose.
and the second brain food are blueberries. So I want everyone to imagine blueberries coming out of your nose. Like, what does that feel like? What is the blueberries? What do they smell like?
Oof.
You would, if that ever happened once, you would remember for years and years, right? That's how your memory works. When you understand how your memory works, you can work your memory. So blueberries, smell those blueberries. Third place on your body was what? Your mouth. And the third brain food were broccoli. It was broccoli. So I want you to imagine a big piece of broccoli is stuck in your teeth. You know how embarrassing that is, right? You're going throughout the day, you have broccoli stuck in your teeth, but just imagine it's big. You have a lot of broccoli in your teeth. It's very embarrassing.
Yes.
Right? So,
smiling with a large chunk. Very embarrassing.
and
there.
Taste it. Taste what that tastes like.
Okay, we're tasting it. All right.
Good. Fourth place is, if everyone remembers, is your ears. And the fourth brain food was olive oil. So imagine you're cleaning your ears with olive oil. Something silly, right? Or you're wearing olive earrings, whatever just reminds you of olive oil.
Yeah.
Fifth place is your throat. Fifth brain food were eggs. So I want everyone to imagine instead of an Adam's apple, maybe you have a hard-boiled egg, right? Just feel it, imagine. It's so silly. Why would that ever happen? But that's why you'll remember it. So we're halfway there. 6 are your shoulders, right, on your body, and the sixth brain food were green leafy vegetables. So imagine you have shoulder pads made out of kale and spinach.
I like that.
And don't just hear us say it, just imagine it's there. What is that?
Very avant-garde, Jim. I like where you're going.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 7, it was your collar, and that was salmon. So imagine you have a necklace made out of, I don't know, salmon sushi.
Okay.
Imagine it's a week old.
Oof.
Yeah. So that will make it stand out even more. You're taking something ordinary, you're making it extraordinary in your mind's eye. All right, we're almost done. 8 was on your body, was your fingers. And I want you to imagine the 8th brain food was turmeric. So imagine that golden powder all over your fingers. You can't get it off. It's in your nail bed. Golden powder turmeric.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
That would bother me. Things under my nails, audience, really bothers me.
And then number 9 is your belly.
Okay.
And the 9th brain food were walnuts. So imagine you're out in the park, you're eating walnuts out of your belly button, something silly, right?
Okay.
But imagine it.
Romantic for some, you know, strange people, but we'll go with it.
And then 10 is your bottom, and the 10th brain food was dark chocolate. And everyone can keep that to themselves. You don't need to know dark chocolate and your
I'm
bottom.
glad you cut me off there. The 7th grade Ken was about ready to come alive again. That would have been unfortunate. Okay, all right.
Here we go. So here's a test. You're listening to this right now, wherever you're consuming this. Maybe you're out, you're on a drive or whatever. Ken calls you up, say, hey, we're going to do a front row super brain party. While you're out, can you stop by the market, pick up these 10 things? And you're like, I'd love to, but I can't write it down, but because you're driving or whatever. But you did. You put it right on your body.
I would love to do a test. Is there a brave audience member who wants to do this backwards? Julia, raise your hand. Okay, Julia. I'm going to turn you over to Jim. He's a great aide. He's really good at this. All right, Julia.
Hey, Julia. Are you want to try it going backwards, starting with bottom?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
So bottom is dark chocolate.
Yes.
I thought about that a little differently than Ken did when he was going to 7th grade.
Good. I'm glad you did.
And then belly is walnuts.
Perfect.
Fingers are turmeric.
Very nice. Very good.
Our necklace is the salmon or other fish.
Yeah, sardines.
Our powerful shoulder pads are leafy greens, so kale, spinach.
Very nice. Number 5 was your...
Okay, so that's our throat. This is our eggs.
Very good.
And then ears is olive oil.
Very good. Wow.
Mouth is our chunk of broccoli. Blueberries. Right, in the nose, and then avocado.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Cool.
Nice job.
Well done, Julia. That was too easy.